Hello friends, welcome back to my blind playthrough of Planescape Torment. This is episode 48 and we are still here at the Brothel of Slating Intellectual Lusts. And it seems like we might spend even today's episode here. Because there's a lot going on in here. And the plot thickens. We've been solving a bunch of things for people. Mostly the Crimson Veil that Marissa is missing. There's this whole mystery with where was it? I'm looking for the journal entry that started it, and I can't see it. Well, anyway, we're looking for Marissa's Crimson Veil, even though she didn't ask us to look for it, I think. But it's a whole thing now. We've been going around asking all the ladies about the veil, and it seems that there is a man hidden in the brothel who stole it, unless Kimaxi is lying to me, which could be the case, I suppose. It's been a while since I played, so I need to refresh my memory a bit. But I do remember that we basically walked around this entire place, except for this room, obviously. But we didn't really go here in the center. And then there's also like a staircase here, or something like that. So that's going to be where we go next, because we've been sort of systematically exploring this, so there wasn't really any suspicious man to be found here. So let's keep going. Yep. Okay, Finam's book. Right, I can't read it like that. I keep forgetting, you know. This is the research journal of a linguist named Finam. Oh wait! Oh wait! Oh, that guy, okay. See, there was something really fishy about him, wasn't it? It seemed like he was an imposter, almost. Like he was the linguist's student, and then killed him or made him disappear in some way. That's how I remember it. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a week or two for me for sure. So I guess we will go and confront him with it then. But now let's talk to those Modrons. So this is my first time actually seeing what they look like. Man, they are goofy. So they are basically, they have bat wings, but otherwise they look like really goofy robots. But they're actually kind of cute. You know, I wouldn't mind having one of those for a companion. Not sure if that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind. Let's see how talkative they are. This strange cubic creature seems to be as much machine as it is organic. As you approach the thing, it silently stares at you with wide, unblinking eyes. Its face hasn't the slightest trace of emotion in it. Come on, Chief, we're in a building full of some of the sexiest chits this side of the multiverse, and you're stopping to talk to Modrons? Hey man, better Modrons than morons, am I right? Okay, that was really bad. But we're talking to all of them, Mort. Well, since you're so smart, you are the fountain of all knowledge in this game. What can you tell me about them? From what I remember, and by remember, I mean from what I wrote down, is that they are absolute law, and that's as much as I know about them. Mort makes a noise of utter disgust. What's there to say? Annoying little clockwork pests. They're always working to impose law and order upon the multiverse. Not good, mind you, just law. Let's just forget about them and go chat up the ladies, eh? We will do that shortly, Mort. Be patient. I will greet the Modron. Its voice has a metallic, reverberating quality to it, as if it were more a sound played out on some warped musical instrument than true speech. Your greeting is returned. There is a soft click as the creature blinks. An awkward silence hangs in the air between the two of you. I suppose the Modron doesn't really experience it as awkward silence. For it, it's just silence, right? I have some questions. Identify yourself to us. I'm Adan. I guess this will be the first time we use this line. I'm Adan. The creature tilts slightly forward, then back on its metallic legs. Whether the movement is meant to indicate a bow or a nod, you are unsure. We would identify ourselves as Modrons, quadrone type, winged variant to the subject Adan. Uh-huh. So there's a variant without wings then. Got it. And quadrone type, what does that mean exactly? Like 4 limbs, or what are they? referring to. Anyway, I have some questions. The subject is free to ask a question. Right, all the old stuff. Well, I guess what are you doing here is an actually good question in the case of these guys. So, our purpose here is observation. What are you observing? We are observing one of the establishment's staff. Uh-huh. As previously stated, we are observing one of the establishment's staff. Yes, but who exactly, though? The subject of our scrutiny is named Dolora. Dolora, huh? Dolora, that's the robot, right? That's the one whose heart I'm supposed to return to her. I guess it kind of makes sense. It doesn't really, though. I would like to know why you are watching her at all. We have not been informed as to the specific purpose or purposes which resulted in our being given our present task. The command of our superior Pentadrone is sufficient enough to perform said task. As such, the purpose or purposes are irrelevant to us. Ah, okay, so the number refers to their rank. Okay, got it. So quadrones are subservient to pentadrones. Yeah, because there's like a very rigid chain of command there. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. Right. Okay, that makes sense. What can you tell me about this place, since you've been observing it so thoroughly? A building located in the section of Sigil commonly known as the Clerk's Ward. We cannot give exact coordinates as the surface of Sigil changes at intervals we have not determined as of the present. Interesting, so the changes don't seem to be regular, even to those guys who are like all reason and logic, presumably, right? The building itself is known as the Brothel of Slating Intellectual Lusts. It serves as what may be broadly defined as a language school. The students of the school are primarily females who intend to, at some point we have not determined and which varies from student to student, become a factotum of the Society of Sensation. A language school. Now that you define it in this way, I guess it does make sense that I found Finam's journal here. You know, fake Finam, if you will. Tell me about the Society of Sensation. I'm sure you will have something interesting to say. We will provide a brief summary as to what the Society of Sensation is defined as. A faction whose core belief is that with experience comes true understanding of the multiverse and its secrets. That is actually quite succinct. I appreciate that. Tell me about the silent prostitute. The subject referred to is named Ecco. We have gathered no more information regarding said subject. Right. And Vivian's scent? Do you know? We do not. If you are not currently in the process of doing so, we would suggest the methodical approach and questioning of each of the inhabitants of this building. I am definitely in the process of doing just that. What about the Crimson Veil? We do not. If you are not currently in the process of doing so, of course. How about Ravel Puzzlewell? We know nothing of any being or object possessing such an appellation. Wow, you guys are more dull than I expected. I guess I should have expected that, knowing what they are. But I was like, there might be something really cool about them that people are not telling me, though. No, there is not. They are cute, though. They are goofy looking, but fun to look at. Well, let's proceed with our exploration. We haven't been downstairs before. Brothel Cellar, okay. So this place has a cellar too, for whatever reason.
Right.
Interesting. Brothel Caretaker. I don't think I've seen any of those upstairs. The music is still the same, so we presumably haven't entered a more sinister area. Let's talk to the caretaker. The man, looking slightly puzzled, nods as you approach. Greetings, sir. Might I ask how you came to be here? Yeah, I came down through those... down those stairs, through the wall, or something like that? That strange door? I mean, I was thinking that it didn't really look like a door, but I didn't bring it up. I'd best work on concealing it a bit better then. He shrugs, then smiles at you. I'm the brothel's caretaker, by the way. You're not supposed to be down here, really, but it's alright if you look about for a bit. Right. I had some questions. He smiles nervously. I really shouldn't even allow you down here, let alone be chatting with you. Please, no questions for now. I said I haven't seen one of those upstairs, but it seems like there is only one caretaker to this brothel. From the way he speaks, you know, like everything is kind of his job. Tell me what the place is, at least. It's where the ladies' sensory stones are kept. They use them as diaries of a sort. Really? Now that is super interesting. You won't be able to use them, if that's what you're thinking. Each of them is attuned to one particular student of the brothel, so that only she may access the stone. Huh. Interesting.
Updated my journal.
Well, before we try interacting with all the stones, which we of course will, let's just walk around and see if there's any other person around here. Doesn't sound like it from the way he spoke. Also, wow, this room looks unique. I've been focused on these chambers, but wow, there's a giant naked statue in the middle, okay. And there's like a water area. Oh, that's really nice, actually. Why are you guys hiding this place? I guess this is just like the lounge for the prostitutes. This is where they come to relax. So it's like their little private area. Well, let's dig into their privacy. This clear stone, held in a mesh of engraved silver bands, pulses with a brilliant inner light. Inscribed into its base is the word Eves. Right. Wait, so are they actually in the same position as the ladies are upstairs? It kind of, because Eves was the first one counterclockwise, right? So, yep. Kimaxi Addertongue. It seems like they are, actually. It doesn't seem like I can interact with them or view them in any way, though. Dolora. Cassiceris. This one will probably be Marissa. Yep. What about this one? Some of the rooms were definitely empty. But yes, some of the prostitutes were also walking around. So Vivian, I guess I'm checking all those stones to see any names I haven't met yet, you know. Ecco. Hang on, have we met her? We haven't, right? We've just heard a bunch about her. Her being the silent prostitute and all, but we haven't come across her. So I'm interested to see where she is, actually. This is Nenny's. I really appreciate the very clear arrangement. Same as upstairs. Brilliant. Juliet. Juliet was in the last room, though. Like, where are these? What is this one going to be? This grayish-white stone, held in a mesh of engraved silver bands, pulses with light. Something was once inscribed into its base, but the writing has been scoured away. Ooh, scoured away. Now hang on, who could that be? Do I know who that could be?
Updated my journal.
Updated my journal, okay. Interesting. I appreciate that the game updated my journal both times, actually, here. I mean, when the caretaker told me about the diaries, and then with this one that has been scratched away. Interesting, but it doesn't actually seem like I can interact with anything here. So I think I'll go out upstairs for now, and can I go anywhere else, though? I'm thinking, because I don't think I've seen any other entrance or door or stair or anything like that. Grace, I need some advice. How may I help you? Well, Would you like to join me on my travels? Just like that? Really? I can just ask that? I think I have asked her before though, right? Whatever. Anna stiffens, then starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her, so's we don't. Bar that fiendling. Mort clicks his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrop through your bowels. Honestly, yeah. You'd best let your bone box skull, or I'll rattle you so hard they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you? Fall from Grace smiles slightly. She seems to be ignoring your companions. That's rather forward of you. Well, I think I said this the last time. I'd rather be honest with my intentions. You seem extremely pleasant and well-versed in the ways of the planes. A companion with that kind of knowledge would be welcome. This is a really nice reply. I don't think I used it the last time. I think I used number 4 before, so I'll try this one. Hey, wait just a minute. I'm the one well-versed in the planes. That's my job, Chief. Yeah, but how do I put this, Mort? You're a highly unreliable narrator, you know? Need I remind you that you neglected to mention the tattoo on my back that warned me against trusting you? But I guess what I will really say is, having 2 people knowledgeable about the planes in our band seems pretty smart to me. Besides, I said pleasant too, Mort. Oof. Pleasant on the ice, maybe. Looks to me like all some chit has to do is show her little skin and you'll sign her right up. Mort falls silent. Not that I mind that, really. I just thought I'd mention it. Well then, we're on the same page. Besides, it's not just the skin. It's that she seems really knowledgeable and really cool, you know? Noted, Mort. Look, Lady Grace, excuse me if I'm being too forward, but would you care to travel with us? I appreciate your candor. I shall counter with some of my own. Why should I travel with you? Well. Number 2 seems like a really good reply. I intend to travel to places perhaps no one else has ever been to or could reach. Would that interest you? That's kind of bold, though, coming from us. We've been in Sigil for like 40 hours at this point. You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? Honestly, either one of those could do the trick and convince her to join, I feel. But I think I'll go for number 2. I intend to travel to places perhaps no one else has ever been to or could reach. Would that interest you? That would indeed. She cups her chin in her hand and thinks for a moment. Yet... Okay, I guess I'll use this one too. You mean you're not interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? I mean, what could go wrong here? Oh, I would be extremely interested. She smiles slightly. Such a suggestion is intriguing, make no mistake about that. Okay, what is it, Grace? Is it my breath? Is it my skin? Is it Mort? I'll kick out Mort if I have to. No, I'm kidding. We only just got him back. He is invaluable. Honestly, if I had to get rid of all my companions except Mort, you know what? I would even get rid of the nameless one if I could just play as Mort. Then you would like to travel with me, then? If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. Oh, come on, really? There are 10 students in this establishment. I would like you to speak to all of them. Then return to me with your thoughts. Then we shall see if we shall travel together or not. I will return when I have spoken to them all.
Updated my journal.
I have spoken to all of them. I'm back. Come on. Okay, do I have to talk to them again? So do they have like any new dialogue options now? Is that what you're saying? Or let's try Kasaisaris then. I don't know. Doesn't really seem like anything new here. I've talked to all of them, honestly.
How may I help you?
I guess questions will do it. Can you tell me about the girls here? That was a new one for sure. Who are you again? Tell me about the girls. I think I've asked this before. Join me on my travels. Oh, come on, we're gonna go through this whole thing again? Okay, I'm a bit confused here. I've spoken to all of them, surely. Except for Ecco, I guess. But I haven't seen her anywhere. Okay, she still doesn't think that I've spoken to all of them. Right, so you're saying I should keep exploring? Did I miss Ecco or someone? Oh, come on, she's right here. I did miss her, didn't I? Holy shit, she's been avoiding me this whole time. Okay, well, here she is. This striking young woman has skin the color of burnished copper. A translucent white dress, held precariously by golden clasps, is draped carefully over her shapely form. Greetings. The woman nods and smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. Mort, stop that. I had some questions. Is your name Ecco?
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling pleasantly. I think the journal update is me saying that I've talked to all of them formally, but now that I've asked everyone's names. But we won't stop there, of course. May I ask why you can't communicate? Well, I think I may ask, but should I be expecting an answer? Especially since she can't communicate? She sighs softly and nods. Right, so this is what we learned, isn't it? This is gonna be extremely specific, but do you by chance know the word that will undo the multiverse if it's spoken? Her eyes widen in surprise. Then she gives you a beaming smile, rolling her eyes and shaking her head. She's definitely lying. Alright, something else then. Did your voice cause someone's death or some other tragedy? She pauses at this, opens her mouth, then frowns. After a moment she shakes her head. Opens her mouth? You mean as if she was about to speak? Hang on, so what I'm reading this as is that she has vowed to speak until somebody asks her something specific or tells her something specific, and in this particular instance she was kind of hesitant and thought that we maybe did ask what she wanted, but then she changed her mind and just shook her head. That's my first interpretation of what just happened. Why would she open her mouth otherwise? It doesn't really say open her mouth as if to speak, so it could have been for no reason, but it's weird that it's there, you know? Something else then. Are you emotionally wounded? Is that why you can't speak? She looks at you strangely and shakes her head slowly. Sounds like we might also be kind of right on that. Like there is a bit of truth to this suggestion, maybe. Okay, other questions. Can you tell me anything about this place? She looks at you, then raises an eyebrow. It was dumb. It was stupid to ask, but I had to, you know. Oh, I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? She looks at you puzzled, before shaking her head. Puzzled as in there isn't even supposed to be a 10th student? I think the only reason I know that there is supposed to be a 10th student is because of those stones, those memory stones downstairs. Or maybe even the rooms here. Hang on, do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Her eyes flash and she smiles. She nods at you. What? What do you know of her?
Updated my journal.
She simply looks at you. May I ask why you can't communicate? Well, I've asked that already. This is definitely like some kind of curse that has something to do with Ravel, doesn't it? The way she smiled and nodded. And then I asked this open-ended question, which of course was too open-ended to answer by simply shaking your head or nodding. So, there's something there. She has something to do with Ravel. I just don't really know what. I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? She shakes her head, shrugging, and gives you an apologetic look. How about Marissa's Crimson Veil? She shakes her head, shrugging, and gives you an apologetic look. Well, interesting. So we finally met Ecco, just by chance. I guess we had never really just chanced upon her before. Interesting. In all those hours that we spent in this place. Nenny, now that I've spoken to everyone, can I ask you about the 10th? I can't. Interesting. So is Ecco the only one I can ask about the 10th prostitute? Why did I pick Kimaxi? She won't even be willing to answer any questions. Oh, but it is an option. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? Yes, she's hiding under my bed. Go ahead, get down on all fours and check. I shan't kick you. Really? You know what? I know she will kick me, but let's humor her. As you look beneath Kimaxi's bed, nothing's there, of course, you become aware of her standing behind you. I couldn't. It's just too easy. Get up, you poor, stupid deader. There is no 10th student. There isn't, huh? I wonder if all of your friends think the same. Delora? No, I do not have the keys to your heart. Okay. I guess she's not really willing to talk to me otherwise. Marissa? I have high hopes for you. I have more pointless questions, of course. The 10th student. I spent much time here in my chambers, but I think that even I would know had a 10th student arrived. There is none currently. You know what? Why am I asking then? I think the best person to ask is Grace herself, who I'm on my way to anyway, so... Grace, where are you?
How may I help you?
Well... About the girls here... Okay, I don't see the question I'm looking for. I did definitely speak to... Okay, there it is. I spoke to 9 of the students as you asked, but I could not find the 10th. And you could not find the 10th student? How curious. I'm thinking the 10th student is me? Really? I mean, the thought has crossed my mind. I don't know, it just feels too on the nose. Like, am I really a sensate student? Well, come to think of it, I do try to experience pretty much everything this game has to offer, so that actually does make me a sensate, doesn't it? Well, if it's me, I have spoken to all of them, because I do talk to myself as well. She nods. Very well. And your thoughts? You and I should leave this place and explore the plains. There is nothing more for either one of us to experience here. It's kind of direct and forward, and not the answer she's looking for. I have learned what it means to aspire to be a sensate, and that it is better to go in search of experience, rather than have it come to you. That's probably what I will pick. And 3 is teaching within a sheltered environment such as this only harms a student, and the plains themselves are often the best teacher. I wouldn't say that it only harms the student, and I think she would disagree with the premise, seeing that she founded this place, but Let's go in search of experience. Fall from Grace nods. Very well. I will travel with you if you still desire my company.
You know, I've learned some new tricks.
I do.
Oh,
And
Mistress High and Mighty'll be joining us. What do we need her for?
You couldn't possibly understand.
I wish she would fall from great height. I might even bump her off myself.
fall from a great height, huh? Well, we're not gonna do that, but we might fall from grace.
May my faith lend me strength. My faith
Cast 8
lend
on
me
that time.
strength.
She's a healer! Oh my god, she's a healer. Thank you, Lord Jesus. She's a healer. We need a healer. Every party needs a healer. I don't like being the healer myself. Even though I'm playing a mage, so if we didn't have a healer like Grace, I guess I would have to do the healing. Which I've been doing a piss poor job of, by the way, as you guys know. But we have a healer. Oh my god, this is amazing. So, a new character portrait. There's only one free slot. Interesting. Now, I'm actually not sure if this RPG has more than 6 companions. Like, if... because, for example, in Baldur's Gate 1, I played a couple of hours of Baldur's Gate 1, and it seemed to me like there were way more companions than could fill out your party. So you had to pick and choose between them, which is, of course, very appropriate for an RPG. Now, in Planescape, I've been playing this game for 45 or whatever hours. Granted, I've been reading all the texts out loud, so that definitely inflates the playtime, but I still haven't come across that many companions. Well, I have come across Ignis, actually, who would be the 6th member if we manage to somehow free him and make him join us. There've got to be more than 5 companions to fill out our party, surely. I will at some point have to choose, but that moment is not now, even though it seems like Anna is not too thrilled about Grace joining us. And I was afraid for a second there that she might threaten to leave or something like that. But I'm glad that did not happen. So, statistics screen. Let's check who Grace actually is. So she's a priest. Okay. Resistance to fire and electricity and magic fire and magic cold and magic? What? Are you like a demigod? Well, I guess she is a succubus, so... she's closer to a demigod than Anna, for example. Weapon proficiency's fist. Ah. Right. What about your inventory? Yep. Fall from Grace's touch. I can't even inspect that. Oh, I can. Okay. It does slight slashing damage. So what is the touch? Does she like slash the enemies with their nails? Or with her nails? Is that the attack? That's pretty pathetic, I'm not gonna lie. She also has a diary which I could read, and some earrings and chastity bodice. Well, I think I'll inspect the clothing first because I tend to forget about that. +1 to all saving throws. Amazing. +5 resistance to magic, usable only by females. Interesting. These are Fall from Grace's earrings. They give her a slight amount of protection from spells and other magic, and like almost everything else, they look really good on her. Well, we've got a real looker in our party, huh? Fall from Grace's bodice is made from the tanned hide of some creature. Despite its prim and proper appearance, it does little to detract from Grace's sensuality. The bodice possesses no known powers other than some minor enchantments that prevent it from becoming dirty, and repairs minor tears in the fabric. Honestly, that's the coolest power. that's cooler than a bodice that could resist whatever, because, well, Grace herself can resist all sorts of elements. Anyway, armor class 0? Seriously? Is this chick, like, invulnerable? Is that what's going on here? I guess we will see that in a real combat situation. This book looks like it was made from paper-thin silver sheets. The engraving of a woman is on the cover of the text, and there is a small lock on the side of the book. No matter how you try, the lock resists your attempts to open it. Okay, but if Grace opens it... Yes. No. Well, I didn't want to read it anyway. At least not yet. Yeah, I guess I suppose that's something to look forward to. We also have a level up for Anna, interesting. Some new thief skills. Let's see. What has been good for us? Open doors. I could honestly just max out open doors, which I think is a pretty good idea. Let's just max it out and never worry about it again, right? Armor class... Hang on, did that say that her armor class is -2? Yep. I didn't even know it could go into the negatives, but apparently that's a thing. Well, Grace, now that you're a party member, do you have anything new to say? You definitely do. How did you come by the name Fall from Grace? The meaning of names is a complicated subject. There is much to be said, and a great deal that is better left unsaid. Okay. Is that your real name, though? Perhaps. She smiles slightly. Perhaps not. So it isn't. There are names which are given, and names which are earned. Who is to say which is the real one? Well, I think the real one would be that the one that carries all the power in this sort of cosmology, right? Where names have power. I think the name which is earned carries the greater weight, though. That may be so. Why do you think that? Well, because a name that is earned is not arbitrary. A name that is earned tells of what you've accomplished, namely your fall from grace. Grace nods. Your point is well taken. So? Would it matter? She smiles. It is an earned name. It kind of matters to me. I would like to know how you came to be called that, if I'm supposed to hang out with you and, you know, protect you and all that. Oh, it's gonna be the other way around, let's face it. I have fallen from my people. Some would say risen from my people, perhaps, but fall feels more right to me. She looks at you questioningly. Does that make sense? Well, all I know about her is that, unlike other succubi, she seems less focused on just constant sex and more on, like, all of experience, like a proper sensate. So that seems to be, like, the main difference between her and the other succubi, so I'm guessing that's what she is referring to here. It does make sense. After all, fall carries with it an underlying sense of loss. Fall from Grace is silent for a moment, then nods thoughtfully. Yes, perhaps that is why it felt as it did. I came to terms with the loss long ago, but the name has remained. Have you really come to terms with it? Fall from Grace meets your gaze, and you are once again struck by the brilliant shade of blue of her eyes. It is turbulent, like the ocean before a storm. I had thought so. Yet in speaking to you, you have caused me to realize some things. She smiles. You have my thanks. Okay. Well, if you want to talk about it, let me know, okay? She nods. You are most kind. I will do so. Very well.
Yes?
Other questions? Can you teach me anything about anything of the art? Fall from Grace shakes her head slightly. No, I do not believe so. The art and the disciplines I practice are different. My powers, as you see them, stem from my faith, not from manipulating energies as the art does. The art is a mechanism by which the power of the multiverse may be harnessed, through gestures, rituals, and devices. My powers come to me through a different means. My faith and the nature of my belief allows some of the multiverse to reveal itself to me. That seems really cool. So yeah, that is something I've seen in other RPGs, right? The division between the mage and the priest or the faith-based character, that's a staple of RPGs. But the fact that the multiverse reveals herself to her, that is intriguing. So what do you believe in? I believe in experience. I believe a person may be changed for the better the more of the multiverse they are allowed to perceive, and the more the multiverse is allowed to perceive them. Perceive them, huh? My belief in the nature of experience allows me to... She pauses for a moment, thinking. Take your time. I suppose the best explanation is that my faith allows me to see things differently. When you see the multiverse in such a way, you learn how to change things. Mending wounds, seeing a person's heart, and so on, just by willing them to happen. Makes sense in this world, actually. But those changes, those changes you make, they seem a lot like spells. How do you learn to do those things? Do you have a spell book? Actually, that's a really good practical question, too. No, my spells, as you call them, they come to me after I have rested and centered myself. That's pretty much how they come to me. I mean, I know I have to learn them beforehand, but mechanics-wise. When I sleep and awaken, I can focus myself once more. The amount of faith required to change the multiverse around me can be quite taxing on the psyche, I'm afraid. Just being able to see how to change things is not enough. You must have the strength to make the change happen, and last. So... But how do you make it last? Surely you don't have to, like, constantly focus on it all the time for the rest of all existence. Like, if you change something, like, if you burn something down, surely you don't have to keep concentrating, otherwise it will get unburned, whatever that means. I guess she doesn't really burn things down, does she?
Yes.
Do you ever use weapons? No. There is seldom the need, and I find that I cannot bear the touch of cold iron or even steel for long periods of time. In any event, I have a number of natural defenses that tend to discourage attackers. Okay.
Updated my journal.
The kiss of a succubus is lethal to mortals, though they rarely realize the danger until their death is almost upon them. Fall from grace size. I can resort to it when the need arises. Okay, so your tactics is basically seducing mortals and kissing them. I guess that works for you. Intriguing. I mean, frightening. Let's move on. And move on we shall. But move on to my inventory. Because there are a bunch of things that I still haven't really done. And you guys have been sort of telling me about them in the comments, and I did not note them down, so I will definitely forget some of them. But I hope to do at least something. Have I inspected this Codex of the Inconceivable? Well, let's start with that. What you had first taken to be a rather unassuming book held closed by a tiny brass lock is, in actuality, bound in strange leathers and enchanted bronze. It is labeled simply the Codex of the Inconceivable. Read it. You unlock the book's bindings and open it. As you glance over the tome's contents, your jaw drops. You stand spellbound, flipping through its pages. Its contents are simply too much to be described. Mere words seem powerless to explain the wonders it holds. What was in it, Chief? I don't know what to say, Mort. What? You've got to be kidding me, right? Come on, let me see it. I don't see why I shouldn't. Show it to him. Mort floats over your shoulder to examine the Codex's contents. His eyes nearly pop from their sockets as they scan the pages. Ooh. Oh, but wow. You stand thoughtfully for a moment, looking down at the Codex, before closing it and reverently putting the tome away. And of course I will never learn what was actually there. Will I? What could have been there then? I think this is one of those questions the game will just never answer. Let's see, so we do have a spellbook, Grace. Protection from evil, blessing, cure light wounds, which she has used up on the con. Right, curse. Halo of lesser revelation. Interesting. Level 2 spells, cure moderate wounds. Spiritual hammer. So this is something like spiritual weapon, right? The spiritual axe that I have. It's basically the same thing. Some bludgeoning damage. It's good to know that you have some offensive stuff as well. Your level 3 spell is prayer. Cool. Aids allies and harms your foes. Very good. That's what I prefer my spells to do, actually. +1 to attack, damage, and saving throws to all who are friendly. Interesting. And a level 4 spell, serious wounds. And that's it. So she can only go up to level 6. Interesting. Interesting. Now, what else is there? The note from Farad. You know, I hoped for some deeper meaning to this, but I don't think I'm getting that. It's just beware shadows. Yeah, there are shadows around. I guess they sometimes jump me. I should beware of them, which I've been trying to do. Not sure what more to do here. Now, the bronze sphere, I think I'm supposed to be able to inspect it in some way, right? Yes. This simple bronze sphere is about a foot across, but it is surprisingly light, as if hollow inside. Although its basic appearance is normal enough, this sphere somehow manages to offend the rest of your senses. The texture of the sphere, just the feel of it, gives you the impression it's an egg that's just about to burst open. Just touching it makes your skin crawl. Oh, but that's the same thing that we read the last time we tried to open it, right? To make the matters worse, the faint smell of rotten custard emanates from it, and it makes your eyes water. Well, that wasn't really as productive as I hoped, to be honest. I could probably sell this hammer. Farad Scratch I could probably sell too. Can I identify it? Hang on, I thought I had some spells active, but I guess I have already used them. I have a scroll though, it seems. Oh yeah, it's right there. Scroll of Identify, huh? Should I copy it into the cons? I guess it can't really do any harm unless it's already here. I guess I'll copy it to the cons spellbook too. Great. The Unbroken Circle. We could try inspecting the Unbroken Circle again. Wards against shadows. Oh, that's right. It makes it more difficult for them to harm us. Interesting. Tenement key. Mantuog's book. Let's try that. A were-rat skull. I don't think we'll find another use for it. We could have given it to Mantuog or Farad, right? But I guess there's no real point to it now. And what about the Dodecahedron? Let's give that to the nameless one too. To see if we can do anything with that. So, Mantuog's book. Oh. This black-bound tome seems to radiate a slight rotting smell, and the covers are unpleasant to the touch, like uncured human flesh left out in the sun. Rusted buckles on the covers seal it against the elements. It is the Grimoire of Pestilential Thought, an arcane tome created ages ago for purposes unknown, the purpose of which is to teach mortals the nature of evil. Some sages warn against its use, while others urge it. It is said that to grant mighty magical powers when services are performed for it? Okay. Teach mortals the nature of evil. Sounds like something that will shift our alignment drastically, actually. Well, we'll talk to it. just to see. As you touch this book, you hear a voice. I greet thee, master. How may this humble tome serve you? You can talk? That I can, master. In many different languages. Only you should take care that none see us conversing, for they cannot hear me. And master speech is but one of my powers. Well, what are your powers then? I can grant you abilities that will allow you greater latitude in life's vicissitudes, master. And I can offer advice to you. Abilities such as... These are powers, my master, that can improve your life immeasurably. Unfortunately, the laws that bind me, they demand a small service in recompense for these powers. Such as? The service required is a trifling one, my master. I would barely mention it if it were not for the sake of the laws that bind me to these pages. The book pauses. To unlock my power, you must sacrifice but a small bit of yourself, my master. You must spill blood upon the first of my pages. This act will serve to strengthen the chain between us and allow me to help you reach your full potential. It is a small price to pay for the spells that will come to be at your disposal. No. That sounds very evil. I don't know, I have a bad feeling about this. Just the name, the Codex of Pestilential Thought, doesn't exactly fill me with confidence, you know? How about you tell me
my journal.
How Mantorok came to possess you? The diseased rat mage unearthed me in the catacombs, my master. He pried me from the grip of my former master, now long since dead. He brought me to his nest so that he might learn from me. His power was limited, however. It was difficult to speak to him, and he understood little of my teachings. Okay, tell me of your powers. Yeah, what about the advice part? Give me some advice. I bestow this advice, my master. Be wary of those you keep close to you. Never take them fully into your confidence, and never dilute your strength by sharing it. Many emperors I have known have done such, and I do not wish you to suffer the same fate. You know what? Screw you, you evil book. These people are my best friends. Well, maybe not Anna, and probably not Dakan, actually. He isn't one for friendship. And Grace is only in it for the experience, and Mort is actually pretty unreliable. But they're still kind of my friends. I feel like this book, this evil book is trying to turn me away from all my companions so that I can be the lone wolf with all those amazing, great powers that it claims it will bestow upon me. And I'm just not buying into that, you know?
Updated my journal.
That's enough. As you wish, master. Merely speak the word to me and I shall assist you in any way possible. Yeah, shut the hell up for now. I'm not gonna throw you away or anything like that, but I'm not exactly inclined to use you ever, to be honest. It really doesn't fit my character, so I'm trying to roleplay a bit here. I don't think I will ever use this book. You guys tell me if I'm missing out on anything you think I would like to see, or if it's the right decision for my character in this particular sort of this particular character I'm playing. If it's the right decision for them not to use it. I feel like that's the right decision here. Like, don't spoil anything that's not necessary to spoil, but just like tell me, was this a good decision? Should I reconsider it maybe? I don't know. The dodecahedron is next then. This heavy dodecahedron, about the size of both your fists balled together, seems inexplicably familiar to you. Its texture is cold and smooth, but whether it's metal or stone you cannot tell. A certain, almost intangible tension runs over the subject, as if it were ready to spring into the air at any moment. Dodecahedron, well yeah, it's a 20-sided die, that's why it's familiar to me. Let's examine it closely then. Upon closer examination you realize that each side of the dodecahedron is a plate that can be twisted clockwise or counterclockwise. It appears to be a puzzle box or combination lock. So it's like a Rubik's Cube dodecahedron, but only the outer layers? Is that what am I understanding this correctly? As each of the pentagonal plates has 5 possible positions, the dodecahedron has no less than 244,140,625 settings. It would take every second of the next 77 odd years to hit all the combinations, but then you might just get lucky and stumble onto a solution in minutes. I might just get lucky because this thing probably used to belong to me at some point. So my muscle memory will kick in and I will magically get it. That's my prediction. Each side of the dodecahedron is a plate. So the way I read this, I thought it was only the outer layers, but this amount of combinations, I'm not sure if that works with only the outer layers. 244 million? I mean, it could be. It could be, honestly. Well, let's fiddle with it for a bit. As you methodically twist the cold, grey facets of the dodecahedron, a strange sensation forms at the base of your skull. Your hands seem to move of their own accord, turning the object and spinning its facets with mechanical precision. Of course, I knew it. You've done this before, you knew the combinations once, and you also become aware that there's a certain danger within the object. Whether it's from simple traps or something less mundane, though, you cannot recall. Ah, okay, so there are also deadly combinations. Keep working at it, and maybe tell my companions to step away a bit. In moments, you have what might be the first 4 sides locked into their proper places. As you begin to twist the 5th side of the dodecahedron, you recall a cunning blade trap that would snap out to lash at the meddler's hands, slashing their wrists and severing fingers. Honestly, that wouldn't be that big of a deal for the nameless one. You avoid the trap with the proper number of rotations, certain that you've made progress in the unraveling of the object's secret. Keep working at it, baby. After avoiding the dodecahedron's springing blades, you slowly puzzle out the next series of facet positions. As you start to turn the 9th side of the dodecahedron, you suddenly remember a second trap. Jets of toxic gas that would form a billowing cloud of lethal corrosive vapor around a curious meddler. You circumvent the trap with the correct amount of twists, positive that you've nearly unlocked the dodecahedron. So after 4 sides, it's first trap. After 8 sides is the second one. So is it like 1 trap per 4 sides? You circumvent the dodecahedron's poisonous gas trap and begin your work on the final facet positions. Just as you're locking the 12th pentagon into place, you recollect sorcerous runes hidden within the dodecahedron that would blast the unwitting holder with bolts of magical lightning. After disarming the trap with the correct number of facet rotations, the dodecahedron clicks and begins to open in your hands. Ah, I misread the word dodecahedron. A dodecahedron is 12-sided, of course. I thought it was 20-sided because, yeah, dodeca kind of sounds like 2 decades, but it's actually 2 and a decade, right? Okay, the dodecahedron clicks and begins to open in your hands. The dodecahedron splits once, twice, and eventually unfolds itself impossibly into a perfectly rectangular tablet the size of a large book. It's the journal. It's gotta be. A perfectly rectangular tablet, huh? Etched into its surface are a series of bizarre symbols. It looks to be a code or language that you feel should be familiar to you. But it's not. Further examination of the tablet reveals that by twisting the pentagonal facets that are now upon the underside of the tablet, different pages may be displayed across the tablet's face. Honestly, this whole puzzle box thing sounds so cool. I want to see it visualized. Tell me there's someone out there who has visualized this thing. Tell me there's a fan art or something like that. You finally realize that the Dodecahedron is a tome or journal of some sort. What do you mean? Until I learn to read this language, I might as well just put it away? It's an unknown language?
Updated my journal.
I've learned so many languages. At least one. I was able to open the trapped Dodecahedron I found, and it appears to be some sort of tome or journal. I cannot decipher the strange language it's written in, however. Perhaps there's a scholar or linguist in the fest hall, really in the fest hall of all places, that can help me. Okay. I mean, I would have taken it to Finam, was that the name? Finam the Linguist, but if he's an imposter, I guess that's not really worth doing. Hang on, who's the linguist at the Civic Festival? I feel like I should know this. Oh, I'm sure it will come back to me at some point. So, the sphere was basically nothing. I haven't really found out anything new about that. The Dodecahedron, though, that was quite the discovery. And then we have the Grimoire. And then we have a bunch of junk here that we need to sort. What about the Gorgon Salve? Right, that's for reverting creatures which have been turned into stone. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Unique and cool items will be up here. Actually, should I open the scroll as well? You know what? It's too late in the episode to be dealing with crazy monsters that will murder my entire party. I'll do it some other time. I'm not ending the episode just yet, though. Let's see if I can find the linguist at the fest hall. Or maybe I should go confront Finam with the journal that the research journal of a linguist named Finam. So, yeah, he was complaining about it. He was complaining about having misplaced it. That being said, I'm suspicious that he's not actually who he says he is. So, should I really give it to him? I'm not sure I should. What's the best formation to use here, actually? I guess it doesn't really matter, but I want to pick one that I really like the look of. Anyway, I think he lives here. Is this his place? Yep, Finam the Linguist. Where is that book? Well. Finam glances your way, frowning. Chosen to grace my home once more, have you? What is it you wish of me this time? I have some questions. Oh. So I can actually try to let him translate this. Should I, though? Because if he's not who he says he is, showing him my secrets is probably not the smart thing to do. I'll just kill him. Unfold the Dodecahedron to a page with writing on it and ask if he can translate it. He takes the unfolded Dodecahedron in his hands and examines it closely. This language is a long-dead one, known to virtually no one. I believe my father, a linguist like myself, knew this language, and may well have been the only man in Sigil at the time that could understand it. I recognize it from his notes, but I cannot translate it. Do you have those notes still? Finam shakes his head. They'll be of no use to you if you're looking to translate anything, and the few actual books he had pertaining to that language disappeared around the time of his murder, I believe. Well, that's right, he was your father, so you are actually Finam the Linguist. Well, maybe not the linguist. Your father was murdered then? Finam nods. Strangled he was. He had left to tutor someone. He taught various languages to supplement his research income, and was discovered dead in a side chamber of the Civic Fest Hall. Really? The Civic Fest Hall? I don't think anyone's told me this. The killer was never found. This was some, perhaps 50 years ago now. I was but a child. Really? Okay. Well, assuming what you're saying is true, I have completely misjudged you. Why am I suspicious of you, though? Like, I've forgotten the specifics, but there was something that made me suspicious of you. This is the disadvantage of playing the game for 3 hours a week. He knew the language, though, and he could teach it, right? So maybe you have something that can help. Surely he did and could, were he alive today. My father was said to be a great teacher. Finam sighs sadly. I have his skill with language, but not his patience for others, sadly. Well, we could try resurrecting his ghost or something. And it seems that the Nameless One is thinking along the same lines. Is he interred at the mortuary? If only I could speak to the dead.
Updated my journal.
Why, no. His ashes are kept here. Of course, yeah, here in the jar. He points to a bronze urn, that's the word, not jar, sitting atop a cabinet beside a bouquet of purple flowers. Why? A wry smile crosses Finam's lips. Necroscope, are you? Speak with the dead? He suddenly frowns. I have no wish to speak of these things any longer. You'll have to excuse me, sir. Farewell. Well, speak of it you don't have to, but could I, touch your father's urn? A necroscope, huh? There's a term for it. Of course there is. A necroscope. A necroscope sounds more like a tool than a person, though. Well, let me try to do that. Let me try to talk to the jar.
I'm gone.
Also, I could probably give you the book, but I didn't see the option, so... There is an urn atop this small cabinet full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched into the base of the urn are the words, Fin Andli, beloved husband, father and scholar of 100 languages. Hang on, I thought that Finam's notes were actually the father's? But now that he told me that the father died 50 years ago, I'm so confused. Okay, why am I confused? I must have grossly misinterpreted or misremembered something. A scholar of 100 languages. Well, use stories bones tell. The ashes seem to stir faintly as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why have I been summoned to these ashes, cold and grey as the heart of a hag? No reason. Farewell, spirit. That's hilarious. To answer some questions, kind spirit. Ask then, so that I might return to my most quiet thoughts. I'm not gonna waste his valuable time. Actually, is his time really valuable? I mean, he's dead. He's got all the time in the world. But I will ask what I came for. Describe to him the writing from the folding Dodecahedron. Ask if he knows the language. Yes, I know that tongue. I was a linguist and scholar, you see. I was murdered by a student of mine. Right, that's why I was suspicious, but he did not say it was his own son. I guess I thought that this guy was the student who murdered him, and then now he's posing as his son. Whatever. It was nonsense. So the student is some other third person, and it's up to me to figure out who it is, probably. The tongue of Uyo it was, one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew of none who spoke it save myself and that one damnable, murderous student. Hang on. Was the student me? God damn it, Nameless One. So can you help me Learn this dead language? I could teach you this language, yes. It would please me to do so, in fact, if only to spite that bloody-handed student of long ago. First, tell me what languages you do speak. Learn what you can, baby. As the spirit speaks to you of the lost language of the Uyo, there is a throbbing sensation in your temples as a memory begins to surface. Memories of this language. Of course, it was fucking me, wasn't it? You recall letters, words, phrases, until like a spire wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry, the language is once more revealed to you in its entirety. I kind of went through this metaphor quickly, but I like it. Spire wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry. I love when games use metaphors which tie into the game's world, or really, not just games, any sort of fantasy media.
Updated my journal.
There is another memory, though, bubbling to the surface, a darker one. Its presence troubles you somehow, fills you with unease and unexplained pangs of guilt. Of course, we're not going to repress the memory, even though guilt is an unpleasant feeling, but we learned to embrace all feelings, including the most unpleasant, in the Civic Fest Hall. Allow it to surface. At last you recall Finn Andli himself. You remember his gentle voice, his kind manner, his schooling you in the ancient language of the Uyo. You also remember your scarred, gnarled hand wrapped around his frail throat, crushing his larynx, and thus ensuring that the secret contents of your journal, hidden and thrice trapped in a dodecahedral puzzle box and penned in the obscure language of the Uyo, would be forever safe from the prying eyes. Well, I called it, didn't I? And I called it in time before the game actually told me that it was me, so yay. Good job, me. It was probably like really obvious, but I'm still proud of myself for figuring it out right before the game told me. Should I tell him? I don't even want to tell him, you know? Like, it would be a nice thing to come clean and try to apologize and try to make peace. On the other hand, if I tell him that he just taught the one person who he wanted to spite the language so that the person could read his own journal again, I imagine his rest would not be very peaceful. So what do I go with? Do I go with what will make me feel right, or what will make him feel right? I guess I'll pick the altruistic option, and I will not actually tell him. Maybe it's a bad choice. Maybe I'm missing something really interesting. But this is my rationale for picking this. I think I understand enough of the language now. Thanks, Finn, and farewell. I guess I could always come back and tell him, right? If I wanted, I think. Now, Finam, can I give you the book? You're not making it easy. What do you mean I can be of no help? Well, he does not want the freaking book. Okay. Fine, I'll just keep it then. I could put it here in his drawer. Seriously, what am I going to do with the book though if Finam himself doesn't want it? Did I miss like a window in the quest where I could where I could have given it to him? Is this option never gonna come up again? You know what? I will actually put it here.
I'm gone.
Just if I ever get the opportunity to give it to him, I will remember exactly where it is, because this is the easiest location in the world to remember.
All right.
So, while I spoke to the linguist, Finn Andli, I recalled that I had actually murdered the man. I can only presume that it was in order to prevent him from teaching the language of the Uyo to anyone else, thereby keeping what I had written in the dodecahedral puzzle box a secret. Well, I guess the next thing to do is take a look at the actual journal. Having learned the dead language of the Uyo, you'll at last be able to decipher its contents.
Updated my journal.
Just 10,000 XP for that. I was hoping for a bit more. The tablet turns out to be a journal of sorts, one kept by some prior incarnation of yourself, it would seem, and not an altogether sane one either. There are only a handful of completely coherent sections. I mean, the incarnation did end up murdering the master, so... the linguist, I mean. Browse through it. What do you wish to read about? Oh my god. There is so much. Okay. I won't get into this now. That is something to start the next episode with. Thank you very much for joining me today. I've been Savle, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.